So what is spiritual practice? What does it consist of? One of the ways we can look at it is to say that spiritual practice starts with setting a developmental goal. So that itself requires a bit of theory. We need to know what development looks like. What defines the self-development principle? Okay, it's reduction of ego and ego-centered desires. So we identify a developmental goal. When I am more spiritually mature, this is who I will be. It's having a clear image of the person that you wish to become. Really importantly when we're setting this is that we define it in terms of behavior. Don't tell me what you value, show me your budget and I'll tell you what you value. Don't say what your values are, look at your behavior and your behavior will tell you what your values are. So if you find, say, a parent who is controlling of her children, what does she value? Well, she values being in control. But if you were to ask her, what are your values? You're not going to get that. So when we are looking at creating a self-development goal, put it in terms of behaviors that you want to express. And then, really importantly, look at incremental steps towards that goal. Small things that 95% of the time will be achievable for you. When you have that series of incremental steps towards the goal, you are more motivated towards it. If you have a goal that lies off in the future, but no intermediate steps, it can seem to be too far away. It just doesn't resonate with us. It's not as relevant. But if you can think of an incremental step that I can do this week, then it becomes something that you can work towards on a daily basis. It's more motivating. So that's the first thing. Look at where you want to be. Second thing is look at where you are now. So again, thinking about it in terms of behavior, look at the behavior that you do instead. I want to be more accepting and giving of freedom to my teenage children. That's the behavior I want to embody. What do I do instead? I micromanage every aspect of their lives, from their homework to their social life, to their friends, to their music and their entertainment. I'm checking in everywhere. That's what I do. That's the behavior I want to reduce. Next aspect is to look at the anxieties that you're trying to avoid. What are you trying to avoid by exhibiting the behavior that you want to reduce? I want to reduce the behavior of being controlling. Well, why do you do that? What anxiety are you trying to avoid? If I don't control every aspect of their lives, they'll make a mistake and they'll be unhappy and there'll be discord in the home and that'll be tough for me to deal with, and then I'll have to clean up their mess for them and I'm already too busy, already got too much on my plate. I won't be able to handle it. Okay, so talk it out with yourself or with a friend or with a coach, a counselor. Figure out what's going on and look for those areas of anxiety. Understand what it is you're trying to avoid. And then look for those underlying or false beliefs. If my kids have negative experiences, it'll be a negative outcome. There's a belief. Is that true? Question your beliefs. These beliefs are coming from ego. They're coming from memory. Be like a lawyer. Once you've identified one of those beliefs, argue the opposite point. My kids having unpleasant experiences is beneficial. Now, can you back up that claim in any way? Well, it's beneficial because they learn from their trials and tribulations, especially if I'm there to help them process it. Okay, so I'm not going to step in and micromanage everything. I'm going to step back, let them make their mistakes, and when they do, then I come forward and help them to process and understand what's going on. So there's a whole set of beliefs that we need to identify. Once we have that goal, then we need to practice it. So again, this is what we mean by the incremental steps, and share your efforts with others. Okay, what's one way I can practice this new belief, this new goal that I want? Okay, my kids have got this sporting event coming up. Now, normally, I'll be on them every day. Have you practiced? Have you got your gear ready for tomorrow morning? I micromanage every aspect. What's one thing I can do? I can practice this by not asking them about their sport practice. Let's see what happens. Experiment with your life. Give it a chance to unfold and see what you can learn from it. So, success in your self-development requires effort, determination, so that's the effort you're putting in towards those practices, and support. Share your efforts with other people. Tell them what your goal is. Tell them how you're going to experiment with it to see what happens, and share the results. We know that when you tell other people what your goals are, you're more likely to achieve them. So this is a very brief description of spiritual practice to help offset the ego-centered desires that are otherwise generating our personalities and creating the environments for us.